We build the skeleton exterior shell of buildings typically. We also can work in industrial plants, steel mills, factories.
Ironworkers are basically like 5 trades rolled into one. We do concrete reinforcement, that's all your footers for buildings, that's rebar. You got your structural ironworkers that erect the structure. You got ironworkers that come in and do the glass to enclose the building. They're ornamental ironworkers, they'll come in and do the handrails and stairs and all the finishing touches. And then we got ironworkers that stay in the mill as maintenance with the furnaces. We erect all your bridges, buildings, skyscrapers, stadiums. It's construction on its grandest scale.
In general, structural is kind of the skeleton of a building or of a bridge. So you're kind of one of the first people there after the site work, and you're setting columns, setting beams, setting girders, depending on your project.
Rebar is lengths of steel that are tied together in various shapes, and then concrete is poured around it to provide it reinforcing so the concrete doesn't break. So a typical workday for a union iron worker is we come in, we have our daily, huddle, talk about what we're going to be doing for the day, go over safety, and then typically we will build in place or build off the site the various pieces that we need for a job, and then either fly it in or secure it in place so that they can pour concrete over it. It's a lot of carrying out rebar, it's a lot of hard manual labor.
You're never going to be expected to do something that you're unable to do, So like if it's extremely heavy, we have cranes and stuff for that. But swinging a beater that weighs 10 pounds 40 or 50 times in a couple hours, it's going to take a toll for sure. So there's a physical aspect of it for sure, but nothing too crazy. Definitely expect to be outside in the elements. We work in the hottest days of the year. We work on the coldest days of the year because we do a lot of work in like factories and mills. We're in there a lot, but for the majority of the time, I would say that our trade works outside. And the only time where we won't be outside is if it's raining. It's an ironworker thing through and through. We do not work in the rain.
If you're scared of heights, structural ironwork may not be the thing for you, but there's a lot of other stuff that you can do, like the rebar. Even if you're in a detail gang, because a structure will be sheeted by then, and you can do some welding and stuff like that. But no, for the most part, you're going to be going up ladders, up in man lifts. Sitting on a I-beam could be 20 feet up, could be 200 feet up. So yeah, typically we like people that aren't scared of heights if we can, but there is other stuff people can do.
Our benefits are fantastic. We have great programs for people who are, needing drug rehabilitation or therapy, and just having access to all those and not having to worry about if I'm going to be able to pay my bills on time if I get hurt on the job.
Healthcare and retirement and annuity, all those things were definitely a bonus compared to what I was doing prior to becoming an ironworker.
So our apprenticeship is a 4-year program. We have it broken down in 6-month semesters. They don't run concurrent, so they'll come in for a week of class. Each time they're in for class, we'll learn a different subject, whether it's reinforcing or glass or welding. When they're in class, we do half the day in the classroom where we're talking about why things are done a certain way, and then the other half we'll go out in the shop and work with our hands. So there's some book work to it. There's some certifications that are required of the apprentices by the time they graduate the program.
You learn all the basics. You learn how to use a torch, how to use a grinder, how to weld. You'll learn first aid, CPR. You'll learn OSHA for safety.
I think the best piece of advice that I have learned in my time as being an iron worker is that you should always be smarter than your tools. Things work a lot easier if you know how to use the tool instead of just using the tool. You can move thousands of pounds of weights with no effort, just if you're using the tools right.
So the challenges that come with being a female iron worker is there are going to be people that think that you don't belong there because you're a woman. The only way to really change their minds about it is to do the work. Work hard, come in every day, don't let anything they say affect how you feel about yourself, and just change their mind by doing a good job.
So it's been pretty awesome to see the female participation growing, and there's no reason a woman can't do this job if you have the ambition and the drive and the smarts about it. I would have to say one of the most important attributes to be an ironworker and to be successful at what you do is to have a hard work ethic, be early, be willing to be flexible, and to have some ambition.
I think you have to be driven. You have to be willing to work hard. You have to have pride in what you do. And you have to be willing to learn.
Everything that we do is kind of visible. We build the bridges, the buildings. It really makes driving downtown enjoyable because I could go, I did that, I did that. It really is amazing.
Being an ironworker is an awesome trade to do. The pay, the benefits are good. There's a lot of options out there for you once you've become a journeyman, and you get to help to build the skyline of Cleveland. You get to put buildings up for people to be educated in, for people to work in for centuries to come.
It really is a good job. You meet a lot of cool people. You get to do a lot of cool things. You get views from places that you would never think that you would be at. And it's a really rewarding job. If anybody's thinking about becoming an ironworker, I think that you should do it.